Okay, I think that's it. The clock has turned over to the top of the hour, so let's get started. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. We're so excited to have you here to talk about creating code-free interactive content. Such an exciting way to, present content in a new way that designers really have full control over, and we know as designers you love that. So we're excited to talk to you today. I am going to turn it over to designers here at Tiled, both Sam and Genesis. They'll introduce themselves, but just wanted to do a little bit of housekeeping first. We will leave some time at the end for Q&A, so feel free to put those into the Q&A section at any time, and I will gather those up, and then we'll ask our experts towards the end of the event. So feel free to post those at any time. And if you have any technical issues or something that you need any help with like that, feel free to put that in chat. Otherwise, I've got all of them up, and I will be looking at all of them as we go along. So that's it for me. I'll be coming back at the end to talk to you about a fun contest that we're going to be running coming off of this as well. So for now, I will turn it over to Sam and Genesis to introduce themselves and dive right in.
Cool. Hey, everybody. So I'm Sam. I am the art director at Tiled. I'm really, passionate about all things branding, brand strategy, and like motion, graphic design. So Tiled kind of brings a lot of those things together. So we're excited to talk about some of that today. But yeah, Genesis.
Hello, everyone. My name is Genesis. I'm a product designer here at Tiled. I work very closely with the product team to design and improve the product experience. I'm also in charge of creating all the templates in Tiled, which I'm going to be showing you later today. But for now, I'm going to pass it back over to Sam, who's going to give you a rundown of what we do here at Tiled.
Cool. Thanks, Genesis. So just kind of want to give you a quick overview of what we're going to be going over today. So we're going to talk a little bit about, what Tiled is and how it can help your workflow, help your team, help your company. We're going to talk about kind of show you some inspiration, some templates, and then we're going to have a demo, talk about our creative account, and we'll have a Q&A and some details on that micro app contest. So to start, kind of want to just talk about what Tiled is. Obviously, what we're trying to do is create the next gen document, right? So there's a lot of great interactivity we're seeing in apps and websites and lots of other places, but we still have a lot of business assets, marketing assets, sales assets that are pretty static and linear. And so at Tiled, we just want to bring that interactivity and that app experience to really everything. So want to first talk about a couple challenges to creating interactive content. One of the big ones is that right now, a lot of time to create stuff that is kind of magical like that, you need development resources and you need kind of a lot of people involved. This can lead to missed opportunities if you don't have the budget for that or the time. And if all those resources are going to your website, there's often kind of a disconnect between the design and the finished piece. A lot of things can get lost in translation from your perfect, Figma XD or sketch file to the finished thing. And it leaves you dependent on a lot of other people to create these things. In terms of workflow, that can lead to a lot of bottlenecks, lots of review time, and it can be really difficult to fix or update content after it's been sent out. And last but not least, there's not a lot of data that can come back from a PDF or a PowerPoint once you sent that out. It's a bit of a black hole. So we're going to talk about some of the solutions to that. So in terms of the creative process for Tiled, we allow you to use tools you already know really well to create that finished piece. So whether you're in XD, Sketch, or Figma, you can create those high fidelity designs, then sync them to Tiled. And then you're also able to drag in all these other assets, from video to animations, GIFs, really anything. And you're also able to embed a lot of cool things like surveys, quizzes, Google Docs, really anything that you have an embed code for, you can put it inside of Tiled. So this allows you to create some really cool things. So what's Tiled for? Kind of want to just go over really quickly some of the things that we've seen it adds a lot of value to. So everything from, ebooks, campaigns, case studies, white papers, events, newsletters. On the sales end, presentations, pitch decks, product demos, events, sales enablement, documents. On the brand side, it's a great way to create brand guidelines, media kits, executive reports, annual reports, and in HR, Tiled's really great tool for, trainings, handbooks, newsletters, onboardings. So a lot of these things you might currently be using, a mix of different things to create, and Tiled allows you to do it all with one tool. So in terms of what does that process look like and how could that save you time? Currently, if you're creating interactive content and you're relying on development resources for that, you maybe have your design time up here, and then there's kind of a long period, maybe 3 months of development time. With Tiled, you can cut that to a week, depending on the length and size of what you're creating. You can create these things very quickly, and with relatively low effort. Obviously, if you've built a website before and you've worked with a team to do that, you know that it can take, it's high effort, and hopefully is also high impact. But with Tiled, you can, with relatively low effort, create something interactive and engaging, and do that very quickly and see, real results from that. Just going to touch on this a little bit, but there's also an analytics component where you can actually see how that content is being interacted with, and even on an individual level, you can see, how they're moving through your content, how you can improve it. And what they're most interested in, what they're clicking on. Also allows you to get notifications when someone's opened your micro app or is viewing it, which is really cool. Yeah, so that's kind of a quick overview of Tiled. I'm going to turn it over to Genesis to talk a little bit about some of the other resources we offer to get you started using Tiled. And then after that, we will do a demo and kind of show you how it works. So hand it over to you, Genesis.
Yeah. Thank you, Sam. So as I mentioned earlier, I have created a lot of the templates at Tiled. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen to walk you through our templates available on our website. Sorry. This is the screen. Okay, so here's our homepage, and then I'm going to go ahead and go to our templates page. You can see we have a lot of templates here that we have created for different use cases, from pitch decks, events, sales hub, company overviews, portfolio, catalogs, product demos, and more. So we also have it sorted by categories like sales, marketing, HR, brand, UI kits. And I would like to highlight the UI kits because they work a little bit different from the rest of the templates. Here you have more freedom, like you have many different options for layouts for your pages. So you can pages like about us, pages like testimonial page, pages like the team page, pages with navigation and statistic page. So you have many different options. So they work great with when you want to create your own use case without starting from scratch. So the only thing you need to do is just download the file of the design tool of your preference, which you can find here. And you can also learn more about our plugins for Figma and XD on here. Now, I want to show you our showcase, which I suggest to check out for more inspiration. Here you can find a lot of micro apps that have built by designers like you and me. It's a great also resource to just get more ideas on what's possible with Tiled. And how you can transform your document in many different creative ways. You can click on it, and then you can also interact with the micro app here on our site. So you can click, you can go and navigate, and on and on. And now I want to show you our tile page on the Figma community. Here we have some of the templates that you can also download it from here, get a copy, and it will open up in a new tab. And you can also preview all the things that are included on the Figma templates. It's very easy, very convenient doing it from here. And I will pass it over to Sam, who is going to give you a demo about our templates in Figma.
Cool. Awesome. Thanks, Genesis. All right. I'm going to share my screen. And so I've already duplicated one of the templates, our most recent template that Genesis actually created into Figma. And I'll just kind of show you a little bit about these templates because they're really, Genesis has done an amazing job creating these, and they make creating microapps really fast and easy. So there's a little information in here about microapps and, about the template itself. And then we also include, this template structure section, which just kind of shows you like, what are the different pieces and components that make up this microapp. And we'll get more into this when we get into the tile builder, but it's made up of pages, states, and overlays. And this just kind of shows the structure, basically a sitemap for your microapp. And it'll also show you like which features are used in each section. So from like our scroll tile to gallery tile and these overlays. So this is a good thing to look at just to understand like how you're going to build it and how it's going to come together. And then right here, kind of a good guide to how you can update and customize your microapp. So if you click on this first artboard in Figma and then hit play, you can kind of look through these instructions. So it's a quick interactive guide. So the first thing you want to do is download the template assets, and you just hit this button to download those. I've already downloaded these, but that'll include like all the typefaces you need. So if you open it up and the typeface is wrong, make sure you've downloaded these. Kind of goes through how you can update your logo to your brand's logo, how you can change colors for the whole template, and changing fonts, how to use the components, and then last but not least, kind of a step-by-step on how to sync your microapp to Tiled. So that is that. And now we'll do it. So let's go into our template page right here on our pages and close out of that for the moment. And whoops, let's see. All right, wrong screen. Here we go. All right, so here's our template. And so the first thing I'm going to do is just kind of take a look at everything we have here. We've got like the home artboard up here, and you can see like there's some places here where it's empty. That's because we have this content that we're going to layer on top of it. So layering in Tiled is a really important concept, and it's how you get that interactivity. So that's why we have like these separate artboards as overlays, because that'll then go on top of this once we add it to the builder. But before we do that, we're just going to change some things and kind of make this our own a little bit. So I'm going to tab over to the UI kit screen and going to go up to this logo. We're going to change that first. If you're familiar with Figma, then you've probably taken the time to create kind of your own brand's kit. We've done that with Tiled. And so I'm just going to turn on kind of our UI kit here. And then if I can get these zoom controls out of the way, there we go. All right. And then what I'm going to do is just grab kind of our logo and drop that in here. And let me switch it to, we'll do the white version of our logo. So I'm just going to make sure in our layers that I've got this inside the component. And then I'm going to resize it just a little bit so it feels like it fits that space well. So once I have that in there, I'm going to delete this old logo. And let's just make sure that's centered. And now if we go back to our template, you can see that that's updated. This is really helpful. I mean, this microapp has it in one place, but if you have your logo in lots of places, it's awesome because it'll just update it everywhere, which is really great. I'm just going to adjust this a little bit, move it to the side. Next thing I want to do is update colors to kind of match our brand, right? So I'm going to go over here to our color styles on this right panel. And, we've got all these colors set up in here. So I'm going to go and just kind of change some of these. So if I just click on that, I can go in here and click on the color, and I'll go to kind of our brand colors, and I'll just change this to like our purple. I'll do the same thing with the blue. Just update these to kind of match a little better. Change that one to the pink. And for this, let's do the green. Why not? So it's very easy to kind of go through here and update all your colors, and then you'll start to notice it's updating in these other places. So here and down here. So and then these other sections, we've got these gradients and different things set up. We could go in here and adjust these as well. We want these to match our brand a little better. So, I might go in here and update a few of these things. So you can start to very quickly kind of customize this to your needs. I also, maybe I want to change out these images, change these to, something different. So if I click in here in layers, looks like we've got like a tint here. Maybe I'll remove that, and I'll just go into the image. And if you click on the image, you can just choose a new image. So I'm going to go to our brand library and just pull a couple of illustrations in here. So I'll like grab that, maybe size that up a little bit. So very quickly you can, add in all these things. All right. So I, just to make this demo a little more magical, I've already kind of done that, right? So you don't have to watch me go through all of these things, but we've kind of changed this up, changed up the colors a bit, added some of our own imagery, updated these portraits to match our brand for those overlays. So now we're ready to sync this into Tiled and start creating our interactive experience. So I'm just going to open up our Tiled plugin, which you can get from the community. And now that we're ready, I'm just going to, make sure I've got the library that I want to show up in selected. I'm going to hit new micro app to show you how to do this. And so we want to name it. So I'm just going to call this company update demo. And you want to select your format, right? So for this, all of our artboards are set up to be the desktop wide. And we could also, after we create this, create a mobile version and, any of these tablet versions too, so that if someone's opening up on their phone, they have that experience adapted to that. So something that's really good to do. Yeah, so now we're ready. So I'm gonna go ahead and create micro app, and that'll create it on the Tiled side. And now I'm going to select all these artboards, and we're just going to hit sync. So lots of imagery, lots of different assets. This can take like like maybe 30 seconds to a minute for it to sync over. Give that a second. And then we'll jump into the Tiled builder and show you how to layer these things together and add all those hotspots and tiles.
Hey, Sam, while that's syncing, good opportunity, because the question actually popped through in Q&A, and the question was, do you have to use a template to create a micro app?
Oh yeah, absolutely not. You can make something completely from scratch. That's generally what I do. We've started to create templates for our brand and stuff, but yeah, it's limitless. So you can just make all your own stuff and then sync that too. All right, so we can see that it's synced everything. So I'm going to hit open in Tiled. And then let's see, give this a second to load. Okay, so just want to kind of give you a tour of everything that you're seeing here. On the left side, you kind of have all those pages. This is not dissimilar to maybe your page column in something like InDesign or something like that, you've got all the pages and it's all kind of synced over. On the right side, we have all these tiles and different interactive elements we can drag and drop onto here. And then we've got all of our assets over here. So some of our assets aren't synced over to pages because they're smaller than like the 1920 by 1080 size. So then we're going to drag those in separately. One of the things we're going to want to do is we downloaded those assets as well. So I'm going to pull in a couple of videos that we're going to want to use and just drag and drop those in. So that'll load those in so they're ready to be used. Perfect. Okay. So first thing we're going to want to do is find like our home screen. All right. So it looks like it's down here. I'm going to pull it up to the top and I'm going to remove this page. So on the home screen, you can see that this top area is white and you might be like, hey, why did it do that? So I'll just explain that real quick. So within Figma, this template is set up so that this background color is checked off for show and exports. And that's because we want to put a video behind it and add something interesting happening there. So don't worry, it's synced correctly. You just need to add a video behind it for that to work. So we're going to grab this event video, drag it into our background slot, and then we're going to drag that image back on top from our assets panel and just do that, right? So now we've got a video back there. If we hit preview, we can see that that's going to play back behind our, our screen there. So kind of fun. Now we've got the same thing going on for this event screen right here. So again, going to do the same thing, going to drag and drop that in, going to go find that event image, just drag that back in. Okay. So now we've got both of those in place. And then the rest of our screens for this micro app are all going to be overlays. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all of these. I'm going to click these three dots to the right of that thumbnail and just hit make into an overlay. And that will just section them in our overlays section just to keep things nice and organized. So we have an idea of what everything is and where it should be. So let's go back to our main screen. And the first tile I'm going to show you is the hotspot. And that's basically just how you link these different things together. So some of these things will be external links. So like I'm going to drop this one on here. This will be, this will just link out to a website from the micro app. So I'm just going to hit external URL and I'll just put in, tiled.co for that one. All right. So we've created our first hotspot. I'm going to create one up here to open up an overlay that we're going to watch a video in. So when I select the target, I'm going to go to the overlays, and these have all been labeled according to the artboards, right? So this first artboard, 0 home, we've got an overlay for that, 0 overlay 1. So I'm just going to select that. And then we've got that set up. All right. So we're going to do some more hotspots in a minute. Actually, let's do this one first, and then I'll show you the scroll tile. But the hotspots this tile is really cool because say you have a bunch of links right in a row like this, you can add multiple targets to one. So now for this one, I can just kind of go through and select. So these are all on 0. So for this overlay, let's see, this one I think is 3. Yeah, overlay 3. So just going to select 3 overlay 1, 3 overlay 2, 3 overlay 4, and let's do 3 first, and then we'll do number 4. Okay, so then I'm going to resize this a little bit just to make sure those are all kind of right on top of the button. All right, so now that we've created that, let's just kind of see if that's working. So put this in preview, I select that and it's working, right? It's opening up that overlay. But we also want to be able to close these overlays once we've opened them. So on each of these overlays, we're going to want to add a hotspot that will close it. So for this, since we just have this one button here, I actually can just make the hotspot cover the whole screen. That'll make it really easy. Nobody will get confused on how to close that. So I'm just going to set this overlay to go back to home. And then I'm just going to copy that, paste it onto these other overlays for this section. So one thing you'll notice in that top left corner, there's a little X, and we have one here. So by default, Tiled turns on a little close button for overlays. And if you have your own design, you can just uncheck that if you don't want it, but it's nice to have. All right, so if we preview this and close it, we've got all these working correctly now, and those will close out. So that's how that works. And now we'll show you how to use the scroll. So we've got a couple places where we're going to have scrolls, but we've got one right here. And so you just click and drag that scroll tile over here. And then I'm just going to size it where, about where that feels right. And then let's find our scroll for that. So that one is, we can find it over here. Scroll. Let's see. Let's make sure that I synced that one over. So let's double check it in here. A good thing to do. Sometimes you might not have selected one and it won't totally sync over. So let's make sure that one, this one right here, has been synced. So we can go back and sync. And let's reopen that in here. Okay. All right, there it is. So I must have missed that one. So I'll just drag that in like so, and that will open up like that. So now this one is ready. If we hit preview, we can see that that's scrolling now. And, same thing that we did with all these other hotspots. We click into the scroll, and then you're going to add the hotspots in here. So we won't do that, but I'll show you in a minute since we've already gone over kind of hotspots. So let's move on to the gallery tile. So the gallery tile, you just drag that here. This is where we want our gallery to show. And I'll just kind of drag that out to where it looks good. And let's find our gallery images. Okay, so we've got them all named correctly. This is why it's really important to name your artboards. Makes it easy to put everything in. So let's start by putting gallery image number 1 in. We'll grab number 2 and then number 3. So you can see that these are all kind of populating in here. Couple things for this one, you can set the behavior. You can have it fill, fit, or original. I'm going to set this to fit just so it shows the entire image and doesn't crop any of it off. On the controls, you can change the dots that show up that show how many images you have. You can change the color of those. I'm going to choose black for this so they show up nice and obvious on that white background. And then we're ready if we've done that. Oh, also one more thing, you can set how often it transitions or if it transitions at all. For this, I think I'm going to set it to, let's do 2 seconds. Let's see what that looks like. So now if we preview that, we've got our gallery in here and it will auto slide for us, or you can click and drag that as well. All right, so there's that. And now we'll show you the video tile. That's one of the ones we have not done yet. So for that one, let's add a video on this overlay that we created earlier. So if we preview this and click over to this overlay, it's empty right now. So let's add something to it. Let's grab this demo video. Got like a robot doing something here. So we'll make that a little bigger. And there's some settings for videos when you drop them in. You can set whether you want the viewer to be able to hit play or pause. For this, I'm just going to have set it to do nothing, set it to autoplay and loop. And then you also notice, if you have sound, you can turn that on as well or leave it off. This one does not. So I'll close out of that. I'm going to add one more hotspot here just to make it easy to close out of this overlay and set the target to the home page. So I hit preview. We now have this video playing in our micro app. We can close out of that. Okay. So this next section, we also have a scroll that we're going to put in. We have a video. We have some other items. And And so we're not going to do all of that. I'm just going to skip over to one that's finished just to show you what that would look like when you're all done. But essentially, once you've gone through and created all these scrolls and different tiles, then you have a nice functioning micro app. If we click on these, we get all these different overlays. We can go into this event and, click through our different speakers that we have at this event. And you can, add those videos in as well. Yeah, so that's kind of a quick, speedy overview of how the builder works. And we'll kind of pause there. Let's see.
Great. It looks like we do have a couple questions, Sam.
Oh yeah, great.
So question that came in, you were really focusing on Figma. What does the workflow look like if you use XD, for example? So you talk to us a little bit about our plugins and how that works if Figma isn't your design tool of choice.
Yeah, so if you're not in Figma, I've also built a lot of micro apps using XD, and the plugin is more or less identical. There might be a few tiny changes, but it works the same way. You select kind of your format and you just sync it over. So for Sketch and XD, the process is pretty much the same.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay, and then one more. You mentioned embedding, and the question is, what kind of things can you embed in a micro app? Yeah,
great question. So pretty much anything. I'll show you one site that's really cool, which is kind of this Lottie files, if you haven't used this before. But you can create your own, or you can use ones that have been uploaded and created by other people. But it's just like a depository of animations and assets. And essentially, these are really cool because they're based on like CSS and code. And so it's very easy to just kind of grab that code snippet and drop it into your micro app. So I'll show you an example of that right now, actually. So let's grab like a loading animation. This one will work. Now, if we go in here, we can basically choose how we want to use this. So we can download as a GIF. We can do a lot of different things here, or an MP4. Let's see. There's also HTML. Oh, I might have to log in to do this real quick. One sec. So, just logging with Google. So yeah, in addition to like to code stuff that you can embed, you can also embed, like obviously you can embed surveys. Like if you, depending on what you use, like whatever you're using, whether it's HubSpot or Qualtrics or any of those things, those are all embeddable just with the code. So one thing we do a lot is we like to put in like some scrolling animations as well for some of these things. That kind of helps as well. So like, for instance, we've got these links here. So I can just copy this, go back over to our micro app, and let's use this embed. Oh, actually, a sec. Let's use the script, and 1 second. Let's expand this. We go over to our handoff, and then here's where you can get that code. So I'll just copy this code over, and if we paste this in, so it won't show until you hit preview, but once you do that, it'll come in like that. So we're going to want to change the size of this a little bit just because it's not totally fitting, but you can do that very easily right here. And one tip on this is just to set it to like 100% instead of a pixel, and then it'll just fit like the box. So I'm just going to change that, and let's preview that, right? And you can also like turn off play controls and things like that if you need to as well. But that's an easy way you can add in like some cool animations and coded elements. So yeah.
And that includes SAM forms, for example. So if we wanted to link out to, say, a marketing automation form, that can be embedded in here as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think the world is your oyster kind of when it comes to embedding.
Google Docs, websites. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, I don't see any other questions coming through. So thank you, Sam and Genesis, so much for showing us this little demo. I did want to talk to you all a little bit about an opportunity to try Tiled for free. So we have what we call a creative account, where you can go ahead, email us. We will set up this account for you and give you an opportunity to just play around in it. There are, certain limitations around that, right? There's, a limitation of, I think, 3 microapps that you can build, but we would love for you to get in there and play around. And we're going to sort of entice you to do that with a contest. So what we would love is for you to create a free account, go in there and create something awesome in a micro app, and then submit that back to us by August 11th. We'll do a little bit of a voting on our side and come up with a winner. Whoever is most creative and whoever, really has blown our socks off is eligible to win a $100 Visa card. So it is worth your time to get in there and play around with it. We do want you to really use those tiles, right? So the winner is going to need to use a scroll, a hotspot, a video, embed, a script, and a gallery, which Sam showed you all of those, and you could see how easy it was to pull those in. And we would like it to be at least, 3 to 6 pages. So, make sure there's a few states in there and a couple overlays, right? Just something to show that you've actually used the tiles and that you know how it works and that you're being really creative with it. We will allow you to start with a template. So that's obviously what we showed you here today. So feel free to do that. You can use the UI kit that Genesis showed you earlier as well. But if you are going to use a template, then, clearly we're going to look at how much you make that template your own. So yeah, just reimagine one of the documents that you use in your organization today. Like, how could that be made so much better if you added some interactivity to that and created something that's a lot more dynamic and a lot more engaging for your audience? That's really what we're looking for. Again, submit that to us by August 11th. Be eligible to win $100. And we're really excited to see what you can do. Kate, from a submission standpoint, are we having those submitted directly to me? Was that our choice or our decision? I don't know that we have it on here, so we will include that in the email that we send to you afterwards, so you know exactly where to send these to.
Fantastic.
All right. Well, thank you again. Thanks for everybody who joined us. We really hope that you have fun. Get one of those creative accounts. Get your hands dirty with it. Win $100, right? There's no reason not to. It's so easy. And we look forward to seeing what it is that you can create. So thank you for joining us all today, and we hope to see you all again soon.